I'm Derek Schmidt, your Kansas Attorney General. At the Attorney General's office, we listen to Kansans and set priorities accordingly. I believe that's what Kansans expect from their Attorney General. This year, I'm running for re-election to a second term so we can maintain that same focus at your Attorney General's office, and I would appreciate your vote. Let me share with you some information about what we've achieved these past 3.5 years. First, we've stood strong for the needs of public safety in Kansas. When I took office, every law enforcement agency in our state was relying on the Kansas Bureau of Investigation's crime laboratories to support local investigations, but there was a big problem. The KBI's headquarters lab was outdated, too small, inadequate, and couldn't keep up with the growing demand. As a result, investigations and prosecutions throughout our state were delayed, sometimes for months or even years. And while outstretched scientists worked to analyze needed samples of blood, DNA, firearms, fingerprints, digital information, and other forensic evidence, cases backlogged. As the old saying goes, justice delayed is justice denied. For too long, the state had put temporary Band-Aids on that problem, a little fix here, a little fix there. But the only way to really fix the problem at the KBI lab is to build a new lab that is adequate to meet modern needs. And that's what we're doing. Work is underway to replace the 1920s era building that houses the old lab with a modern 21st century crime lab that can meet the needs of Kansas public safety for decades to come. The new lab is on campus at Washburn University, and the university will launch new forensic science training programs so we can help Kansas kids grow into professional scientists who will serve the needs of public safety in our state. It's a great partnership, smart for taxpayers, for public safety, for education, and for keeping our kids and our future at home. I'd like to continue serving as your Attorney General to see this project through to completion. Second, we have strongly protected Kansas taxpayers and consumers, including senior citizens, from scams, ripoffs, and fraud. So far on our watch, the office has recovered more than $350 million for Kansas consumers and taxpayers, by far a new record for the Attorney General's office, and we're not done yet. Our Consumer Protection Division is stepping up investigation and enforcement work throughout the state, from combating deceptive door-to-door sales scams to prosecuting telemarketers who violate the Do Not Call law to suing national mortgage companies that deceived Kansans into taking on mortgages they could not afford. With our new In Your Corner Kansas outreach program, we're making consumer protection information more accessible and useful so Kansans can protect themselves and their neighbors from scams and ripoffs. Check it out online at www.inyourcornerkansas.org. Our Medicaid Fraud and Abuse Division is prosecuting more scammers who defraud taxpayers by overcharging or billing for services they never provided, and those who abuse Medicaid patients either financially or physically. It was a privilege to work with the legislature this past year to enact a new law to strengthen our hand in combating elder abuse. I would like to continue serving as your Attorney General to build on these record-setting recoveries for Kansas consumers and taxpayers. Third, we've pushed back hard against a Washington, D.C.-based agenda that too often puts politics above the law and the Constitution. When the federal administration or its agencies violate the law by adopting regulations that are bad for Kansas, we stand up and say no. We're fighting back against Obamacare, and so far we've won 2 out of 3 in the U.S. Supreme Court. We're fighting back against EPA regulations, and we've stopped the EPA from extending its greenhouse gas regulations to organizations like schools and churches and shopping centers and small businesses. We fought back against illegal appointments to the National Labor Relations Board, and the U.S. Supreme Court sided with us and disqualified President Obama's appointees. And if Washington doesn't back off, we're going to fight back hard against the EPA's new definition of waters of the United States, a power grab that could put an EPA regulator in almost every farm field in Kansas. I would like to continue serving as your Attorney General to keep on fighting for the right of Kansans to govern ourselves in this marvelous federal system our Constitution established, because Washington does not always know best. Thank you for considering this information and my candidacy. It's been a privilege to serve as your Attorney General these past 4 years, and it would be an honor to serve 4 more. I'm Derek Schmidt, your Kansas Attorney General, and I'm asking for your vote in this year's elections.